Those are the names of the new transgender dolls that will reportedly debut this fall in Minnesota classrooms to kids as young as 4. They even include removable genitals. My Gender Dolls was launched by 2 professors at the University of Minnesota Medical School, which reportedly began as a research project at the taxpayer-funded university. The big weekend show reached out to the university and My Gender Dolls for comment, but we have not heard back. I wonder why, Tommy. This is not your father's Hasbro, is it? No, this is not. This is not the Mr. Potato Head that us millennials grew up with. Certainly a different flavor there. This is bizarre. This is upsetting. I don't understand. I thought that there was a time of reckoning after 2024 when the left and some of these types that are pushing this realize this isn't popular with your everyday American. It's just not. We don't want our kids playing with, movable gender dolls. We just want them to learn reading, writing, arithmetic. That's a big enough problem, right? But no, they're back. Woke never left. Woke just simply went on a hiatus, and it's full bore now.
Well, is anyone surprised that the state of Minnesota would actually do something so disgusting as to put transgender dolls with interchangeable sex organs in front of children as young as 4? They're doing this on purpose, folks, because these Marxist men want to indoctrinate your children. They don't want to educate your children. They want to indoctrinate your children. Now, is anybody surprised that parents weren't notified of this? I don't think anybody should be surprised by this, because any common sense thinking parent is going to object to what Minnesota is actually trying to do. They're trying to turn these children, guys, into woke activists. They want to transition your children because the Democratic Party is evil. This is very, very evil, folks. This is why I'm all for school choice. And this is exactly why Democrats don't want your kids to actually have school choice. They don't want you as parents to have school choice. They want to control your kids. This is what communists do, folks. This is what they do. Now that the cat is actually out of the bag, folks, now the Trump administration has gotten wind of this. And now Minnesota may be in huge trouble, folks, because they knew exactly what they were doing. They have violated the rights of parents. First off, this stuff should be banned. I don't even care if this is actually in high school, folks. I don't believe that schools should actually be teaching kids K through 12 about any type of sex education, because they're not there to teach. They're there to indoctrinate, folks. It's absolutely despicable. Now, when I was actually in high school, I never even took sex ed. Never took it. I came out okay. Now, I don't know if they were necessarily indoctrinating people back in the 1990s. But now, oh yes, they are indoctrinating kids, folks. The Democrats have lost their minds. They have gotten in bed with a bunch of radical Marxists, woke lunatics. And you know who's really driving all this, folks? It's really leftist white women. Leftist white women are the reason why all this stuff is happening. It's completely insane, guys. It really, really is. If you guys have ever seen videos of like pride parades and everything, who is at the forefront? Yes, of course, there's men there too, but it's mainly white leftist women pushing all this nonsense, folks. Really is. But let's go ahead and dive into this. Here we go. So right over here, Post-Millennial. Department of Education opens investigation into Minnesota over plan to target young children with gender swapping trans dolls. Yeah, this is some of the most disgusting stuff I've seen. I already said it, guys. I believe that Minnesota is overtaking California as the most corrupt state in the union. And when it comes to actually the political alignment, Minnesota is definitely to the right of California. But these Democrats in Minnesota, they don't really care because that state is really driven by Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's where all these Somalis are at, the fraud and everything like that. Democrats have a grip on that state because of those two cities right there. Anyway, it says the Department of Education has opened an investigation into the Minnesota Department of Education following reports that schools plan to use transgender dolls with interchangeable genitalia to teach children about gender identity. Yeah, schools shouldn't actually be teaching kids about gender identity. That they really shouldn't. Folks, when I was 5 years old, I knew what a male was. I knew what a female was. I didn't need a school to actually teach me about that. But now the indoctrination, man, it's real. On Wednesday, the federal department announced the investigation, stating it is examining whether the Minnesota Department of Education is complying with the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment. The investigation follows a complaint filed with the department's Student Privacy Policy Office by Defending Education. In the complaint, parents allege that they were neither notified nor given the opportunity to opt their children out of the activity, raising concerns that their rights have been violated. I'm pretty sure, guys, Minnesota never told the parents. And this is done on purpose. It was done on purpose because if they actually went out there and told parents exactly what they were doing, parents would be outraged. And now you're seeing this. This is why they actually kept it under wraps. We've seen, guys, where these communist teachers will start identifying a student by a certain gender, a certain name at school, and keep it from the parents. This is what these cultural Marxists are doing in schools. And then the parents are actually dumbfounded that, wait a minute, my son Jimmy is going by Sally at school? I was never notified of that. This is why government education needs to be abolished. This is exactly why. Quote, we are deeply grateful the education department is taking immediate action to protect Minnesota students from being subject to UMN's appalling My Gender Dolls, said Defending Education founder and president Nicole Neely in a statement. It is deeply perverse and biologically false to impress upon children that genitalia can be swapped out like Mr. Potato Head parts with no lasting damage. And for the state to wrest control of these conversations from parents while using their tax dollars to do so, no less, is truly insult to injury. Yeah, the parents are paying for it. You're paying for it in Minnesota, and dare I say, we're all paying for it because we know that taxpayer dollars go to the states. So essentially, guys, we're probably all paying for this. This is why taxation needs to be abolished. Property taxes need to be abolished. Look what government is actually doing. Look at what they're doing. The taxpayer-funded dolls have been described as the first of their kind and are planned to be available in schools beginning this fall, including for children as young as 4 years old. The dolls have gender-neutral names and are intended to be a, quote, therapeutic tool to make gender fun. The company behind the dolls have said that they are built to help children tell their stories and see themselves represented. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that 4-year-olds aren't transgender. I really don't believe in trans kids, guys. This is something that was really, really made up by love and indoctrinated on kids. Why? It's because we let leftists take over the schools. There's no such thing, guys, as transgender kids. It's only adults making terrible decisions for their children. A kid's brain is not developed enough to actually know what they actually want. Even if you actually ask like a 17-year-old, guys, let's just go even in college, okay? A student goes to college. They don't know what they actually want to do. Maybe, they want to study history as a major in college. Second year, they say, nah, I don't really want to do that. I'm going to go into engineering. That happens because people will change their mind. I changed my major when I was actually in college. It happens. I went from music major to finance. Now, of course, that was a gap. I went to the military, then I went back to school, but it happens. But they expect a 4-year-old really to say, you know what, I'm not really a girl if they're a biological girl. I feel like I'm a boy, and vice versa. This is the agenda of the left, folks. This is why they're bringing these dolls into the schools. And it's absolutely disgusting. These people need to be stopped. These people need to be arrested. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time. Well, Black and White Nation, it is that time. The 4th of July sale is here. 20% off everything in the merch store, including our new America 250 second edition. Has America 250 on the front with the flag on the back. We also have our America 250 George Washington edition with the America 250 logo on the back, George Washington on the front. We have our Freedom shirt. We have all the merch you guys want. Patriotic gear. Our best-selling shirt is our Bald Eagle edition America 250 shirt. We have sports gear. We have hats. We have backpacks as well. Get your merch today, guys. 20% off. If you are a paying member to the website, you get 25% off. And by the way, you can become a member and support us just for $10 a month. You can also save money by getting the annual plan. If you would like to donate to us, you can do it directly on the website. $5, $10, $20, whatever you guys want to give. We do appreciate the support.